Yo, what's up guys? Bruno Wolf here, bringing you a video about patch 13.4. It's coming up, and this is a massive, massive patch. So let's just jump right into it. There's a lot to talk about. So here's the list of everything, right? All the champions, buff, nerf, things that are changed. There is a lot to get into, but there's something that's not even on here that was completely missed, and it was picked up by Reddit, which is really interesting. So Riot Meddler tweeted out or posted on Reddit talking about how they're going to be changing LP gains and loss. Essentially, what this says is if I'm a Gold 4 player and my MMR is average, so my MMR is equivalent to Gold 4. Every win and loss in a Gold 4 game, notice how you get on op.gg and you see that your game is a Gold 3 game or a Gold 2, like whatever the average MMR of everybody on the game is. This affects your MMR as well. But let's say we're a Gold 4 player. Our MMR is average, we have Gold 4 MMR, and we're playing in a Gold 4 game. A win equals 15, plus 15, right? And then a loss equals minus 15. Now, with this new patch, they're actually changing that. As you can see, you guys can read this as I'm doing this, but the new gains and losses is going to be a win equals plus 22, and a loss equals minus 22. Just a big difference. I mean, this is a 50% increase to losses and gains. So from what I've been seeing on Twitter is a lot of people are very divided. Now, obviously, if we were to look at the ladder right now, we're looking at the LP for rank 1 is already 1500 LP. So a lot of people are saying that this is going to just inflate the ladder more. So if you increase gains by 50%, you can expect the ladder to go up 50%. And we've gotten to a point, I mean, years and years ago where 1500 LP, just 1000 LP was unheard of, right? And that was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And now we've only gotten a month. It's only been a month into the season. We're already past. We are already at 1500 LP for rank 1. And so if we increase gains and losses by 50%, a lot of people, well then what? So at the end of the season, we got 5000 LP rank 1s, right? But the whole mindset for them is that the season's cut into 2, so we have technically 2 season 13s where we're going to have like a midway point, and then we're all going to play our provisionals again at halfway through at like 13-10 or 13-11, I guess it would be 13-11. And then there's like 2 different ranked rewards, 2 different seasons, but it's all put into one in season 13. So their thought process is increase the gains, increase the losses. People with good win rates who don't get to play the game as often will be able to reach their gold rewards, plat rewards, diamond, whatever it may be, without playing as many games, right? So it's very mixed. Like, people are excited because the people that don't play League as much, like, you know, I want to play my 100, 200 games and just be done, and then go play whatever else, or play norms, or play ARAMs, TFT, whatever it may be. And then other people that really grind solo queue are like, well, this is gonna just boost the ladder and inflate it even more. But who does it? You know, it's really weird because who does it affect? It affects like the top 0.5. Now, me personally, right? Masters 200 peak. I'm Masters 50 LP right now. And you know, I've never been Grandmaster. I would love to be Grandmaster, but Grandmaster right now is 250 LP, 270. And imagine this happens and then Grandmaster becomes like 500. So, I mean, it's all over the place. It only really, I would say that the inflation only really affects the top 1%, but at the same time, it is kind of crazy to see like rank 1 just going to be massively up there into like 5,000. But here's another interesting thing. So a conversation that was going on. So if my LP gain now is 25 LP for a win and minus 5 LP for a loss, what is it going to be in 13.4? Something like plus 40 minus 10. And this is from another rider, right? So this is also interesting because this kind of breaks that cycle that we're looking at where it's like this 50% increase. But if we look at, you know, 25 and minus 5, plus 25 minus, that doesn't equal 50-50. So I feel like there's going to be something weird going on with this that we're just not really seeing, because like the 50% increased, it makes sense if it's like stagnant, if it's consistent, but for it to go from, you know, plus 25 to plus 40 and then minus 5 to minus 10, that's plus 100. So I'm not sure. There's something underlying, and I find it really interesting that this just wasn't in the patch notes at all. So this is something I just want to knock out right away. I'm very curious as to what you guys think as well. Please, like, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this change. I think this is a really big change that somebody had to find out through like Twitter and like Riot, or through Reddit, and like it wasn't posted about or in like the patch notes or anything like that. So it's super interesting that this is just something we were all going to find out when the patch came out. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it will be a bad thing. I'm not sure. I'm very interested to see how it works. I kind of like, I don't know, because it's like, imagine seeing a plus 40. That sounds like really crazy. We're just going to have to see. We're just going to see. It's super interesting, though. Super interesting. I don't really have any negative or positive feelings about it. I think that the win streaks are going to hit really hard. Lots of dopamine spikes, but the loss streaks are going to be crazy. I think the only real difference that this has is like you're going to need to have a lot more discipline. If you lose 3 games in a row, like imagine you have a 10-game win streak. I mean, that's plus like 200 plus LP right there. And if you have a 10-game loss streak, minus 200. So you're really going to have that ranked discipline. If you lose like 3 in a row, you just got to call it for the day. As much as you want to play, as much as you are addicted to playing, you have to. You have to, because the losses are going to hit so much harder. Now, just jumping into this patch is insanely massive. Insanely massive. Just so many things changed, right? But a lot of it is like super small. You got like, I'll let you guys read through this. I'm only going to really talk about like top laners. Malphite getting buffed. Like, I'm going to talk about top laners and how it affects more like Fiora and like the fighter class, because you know that's what I stick to. So Malphite getting buffed. kind of rough for Fiora. Makes him more viable pick. It's just more like W cooldown, attack armor ratio, W cone armor ratio. This is more going to help his laning phase. This just makes him a stronger counter pick, essentially, is what it does. It's going to be better for laning, going to make him a stronger counter pick. So that'll be tough, like for Fiora and fighters and such. Riven is getting a decent little buff here, but I think that it's weird because the Riven OTPs are so good at the champion, especially the high elo ones, right? They're so talented, so good at the champion, but with ability haste getting taken away from Death Stance and Maul, I don't see it being... I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I don't think we'll see too much about it. That's like where she just jumps to like a 55% win rate or anything like that. It's just really her passive damage now deals damage to towers, and it does a little bit more damage as well. It's not... Even when you're looking at it, it's really not too crazy of a difference. But it is cool that she can use her passive damage on towers now, because she was never able to do that. So now you can like use your abilities and actually hit the tower. But this is another interesting thing. Passive stacks now show under her health bar. That'll be something new. I don't know how they're going to do that. If it's going to look like, you know, Jin bullets or something like that. It'll be really interesting. The Jax nerf. This is a big one, right? So Jax is getting nerfed, but it's very interesting because Jax is pretty crazy, right? Jax, for one, insane counter pick into like heavy AA auto attack enemy team comps. I don't think that this nerf is going to do too much to him. I mean, we're talking E dodge increase total damage instead of base damage, E max damage. I mean, his max damage on E was kind of crazy actually, because it does like max HP, and they're actually increasing that. So, I mean, our on-hit damage is going down, but like the numbers, I mean, he's meant to scale, right? So it's like 80 to 60, 120 to 110, 160 to 160. So it's like just the early levels are being affected, and he's still gonna scale really well. That's what Jax does anyways. Jax has a very dominant laning, like he hits level 6 and then he's just like a whole different champion, right? And if we have a scaling champion that is meant to get like 3 items and then be super powerful, you know, example Fiora or something like that, having a strong laning phase is not ideal. Like even Fiora has a super strong laning phase when it's kind of like, should she have that? It's definitely a discussion. It's like, should Fiora have this strong laning phase? But they cut down on her scaling. Over the last, you know, few patches, she's gotten nerfed like 3 times in a row, and they've cut down on her scaling a lot. But I think that they really need to think about these scaling champions more. Look at the laning phase. Shouldn't the laning phase be harder? How do these champions have such strong laning phases and are able to scale as well? There's got to be some sort of weakness there. So I kind of like this nerf for Jax, because this is going to affect his laning phase. Not as much as scaling. He's still going to do the damage that he does when he hits level 16. He's going to be the same champion. I mean, it's just really affecting those earlier levels. And I still think even then, I mean, he's still going to be really strong. So that's fine with me. I think this nerf is fine. I think I'll still play Jax as my second, third pick when Fiora's banned. So I don't find you know, I don't think it's that crazy. I don't think it's that crazy. A lot of jungler nerfs, which, you know, are kind of necessary. All these AP junglers have been rocking like 55 to 54% win rates, especially in higher elos. You know, Maokai, Elise, Amumu, Udyr. These are kind of necessary, I feel like. So I'm okay with that. Azir nerf, sure, why not? Thresh, any supports that want to read that, go ahead. But there's even more. So there's even more that goes into top lane about this. So obviously, I know I'm ignoring a lot of the other stuff because I'm really just talking about top lane. My champions, the champions that we play in the top lane, fighters, bruises. I know you guys watch the channel for that stuff. So there's something else that we need to talk about in the top lane as well. That's crazy. So solo kills, the experience is being changed as well. Kill experience, kills against enemies at your level, progress, next level, and you're like looking at percentages and you're like, okay, yeah. But there's no like real numbers. But on the actual patch notes, you get the numbers here. So experience on champion takedown, right? So let's say you get a solo kill at level 3, you're getting 186 XP. This is coming down to 144. And then 258 down to 174. Like, this is a big drop off, no? I mean, I know that, so XP obviously scales, and it takes more XP for you to level up. As you level up, let's say, you know, you need 500 to go from level 4 to level 5, and you need like 1,000. So it goes up, but the changes seem really kind of confusing, maybe a little bit, because like, look at this one. So level 7 XP reduced from 434 to 308, but then level 8 is from 500 to 486. So it's getting nerfed, but it's kind of just, the numbers feel a little bit like plopped into place. Looking for like a pattern, it feels like these make sense. These make sense, and then the last one is what's confusing to me. These actually have like a pattern to it, like plus 70, 80, plus 30, plus 80 again, plus 30, plus 70, plus 30. I mean, like, that makes sense. That has a pattern, but this last one is very confusing, and then the other levels are unchanged. So it's almost like the best time to get a solo kill is level 8. You know, wait till level 8 and get a solo kill. Just really interesting. Comeback experience on champion takedown, 16% per level difference between you and the champion killed, 20% per level beyond the first between you and the champion killed. So that's getting changed as well. And so I guess you can't really, so you're getting increased, yeah, so it's increased kill experience. Wait, 20% per level beyond the first between you and the champion killed. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's actually getting nerfed as well. But it's almost like, okay, so what this kind of does though, at the same time, is you can basically die solo, and you know, top lane is pretty unforgiving, right? You lose, you get solo killed one time, and sometimes the lane feels like it's just over after that. So this is, in my opinion, actually not a bad thing. I'm okay with this. I think that a lot of the times you die at like level 4, level 5, or even really early, like level 2, level 3, and it depends on the champion and how oppressive they are in the lane. This can put you out of the lane entirely, and you just cannot play anymore. It really depends, right? Let's say I'm like Fiora and I somehow get solo killed by Malphite and he's able to get his armor, or like a Bramble, get it really early, then I can't play anymore. I can't play anymore, right? Or vice versa, same thing. And I think that goes for a lot of matchups. So allowing a little bit more wiggle room, so that if you do get solo killed in the top lane, that you have another chance to play. Another chance to come back into the game and to be relevant. I think it's a good thing. So I like this. I just think this number is weird. That's the only thing. But there's just so much going on in this patch. So 13.4, massive patch, and this has a lot to do with the top lane, as we just talked, and just the game in general. I'm very, very curious as to your guys' thoughts about this patch, because wow, this is a big one. This feels like a preseason patch, you know, like something you put out there, a massive change you put out there and see how it does, and then you can reel it back in or extend it if you need to. But this is happening during the season. This is 13.4. We're a little over a month into it, and we are just throwing this thing out there. Let's see what happens. I am very interested in what you guys think. So please let me know. And that is my patch 13.4 review. Massive patch coming in, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is one of like I said, it feels like a preseason patch. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. I've got no negative feelings. I've got no positive feelings. I'm very neutral on this. I want to see how these. I'm more concerned about the LP gains and losses. I'm very interested to see what happens with that. So I guess we'll have to see because the patch is coming right now. So until next time, guys. Peace out. Love ya. Bye bye.